Hey everyone, welcome to the Dark Helmet Racing League Season 5, Round 3. We're at COTA tonight. Lots of good battles. The incident limits were really well respected, so good job to everyone there. It's good to see the different class levels working out for each class primarily, so that was cool. A little bit of hard racing here and there, and some contact reviews. A few more 4Xs than would be normal in a race, but I think most of it will be good hard racing. So let's get into it. Racing incident. All right, lots to unpack there. This is still lap one. So here we have a stack up because everyone's being different levels of caution. You have cars battling ahead. You have a four wide starting to happen, and a few other things. So let's kind of slowly roll this forward and watch what happens. So up ahead we have an Audi going down the inside of a Porsche. The same two that just had contact a second ago for a racing incident. That is pretty lazy car placement. That door is always going to close for that Audi, so I might review that in a second. There's not really an incident point there, so that was generated. So I may need a protest if you really feel like you were hard done by it. It did lead to a spin by Christian there. So that let's just see if they wait for each other. I think they do. Once I'm done looking at that one, I'll look at this one. Yeah. So that one in the end, they gave the positions back. But this one, let's see what happened here. So we have Ryan going down the inside, and he's fully alongside the Porsche here. The Porsche doesn't really have enough of overlap to really gain that position on the cars ahead. I know we said any overlap is good, but you can see it's actually increasing rather than decreasing. So by this point, the Porsche has pulled himself out of the position, so that's good. The contact between the Porsche and the Mercedes or the Mustang here is purely just side to side contact. What spins the McLaren here looks more like a little bit of a stack up. So you can see the gap to the Porsche and the Audi ahead opening just there. It starts to actually it stays pretty consistent, but the gap between the McLaren and the Porsche definitely decreases. So the Porsche ends up just kind of giving that rear bumper contact with the McLaren, which ends up spinning the or slowing the McLaren, also starting to spin it because iRacing doesn't like front contact when the rear is unweighted. This then causes the contact with the Porsche, which leads to the spin of the McLaren. The Mustang on the inside here really had nothing to do with the contact. Good job getting through it. So this one, I'm going to say is racing. Really, the contact started with the McLaren rear-ending the Porsche, which caused it to slow suddenly, which led to the contact with the other Porsche Mustang on the inside. It got a 4X with side-to-side contact, so I'm not worried about that. But you can see everyone's stacking up here, and this is typical lap 1 incident as well, where stack-ups do happen as the progression of braking goes. People farther and farther back have to slow more and more and more for the corner. So I am going to call this one a racing incident. What's this one? Yeah, you can just see it from Rob's point of view. It just ever so slightly slows. And that catches Mark off guard and spins Mark. Racing incident. Like Josh was the Porsche there, so yeah, racing incident on him. And Alex is the Mustang at the back, so racing incident for him. And then we are finally on to another one. That is a very typical sim racing contact. The corner's so tight here. It's over 90. It really doesn't suit itself to sim racing very well. People with triples have a little bit of better time. People with VR have a bit of a better time, but people with single monitors, they can't see anything. So I'm gonna call this one racing contact or racing incident. Like there's not much that could have been done here. The only thing I'm worried about is a meatball, and nobody got a meatball out of that. So no action on this one. Racing incident. Racing incident. I have a 4X. What did I have a 4X for? I rented a car. That's right. But you can see there, rather than take advantage of the situation and rolling into the gap, I let the driver gather it up. Driver did a great job gathering up. Good job, Cole. I'm sorry for ending you. I wanted to go a little deeper into there than you did, unfortunately. But got a little contact there, and then I just waited. You can see like I'm trying to hold the Mustang back a little bit too, just to make sure that we all come out of this in the same positions, and then game on. So let's call that one racing incident. If you guys feel like I should review that further, put something in the protest and I'll review it with the other admins. All right. And then Alex said he's sorry for these. So let's go through them. Let's just make sure that he doesn't impact anybody else's races with this, but I don't think he will. Good job waiting. Now, Alex, I'm going to give you a little bit of help here. Try not to turn the traction control off and do the little quick spins and such. The rear tires just get so hot, and that's why all this is happening. You've just tortured the rear tires. iRacing hates it. So just try to not get wheel spin at any time, even while you're recovering. Otherwise, it just gets into thermal runaway on the rear tires, and that's what all of this is the rear tires just I've decided they're ice. That's in this cases like this, I would recommend just going in and yeah, getting a new set of tires on that thing. Even in this, like I would take a set of tires during the pit stop here just to get them back. Otherwise, you're just gonna keep on struggling. I know it's gonna slow you down a little bit longer, but I would recommend taking tires if you start struggling like that. Ooh, right on the last lap. That's unfortunate. That's just did he clip one of the yeah clipping one of the turtles. And I did this in the feature at one point. Had a big moment, almost lost it the same way. So I feel your pain. Still trying to get to the finish. Still with tortured rear tires, unfortunately. And all right, so that's the sprint. So no incidents of note there. So that's good to see. Here we have a few more, so let's get into these. For the feature. Actually, let's go look at one thing from the sprints, and I'm only going to do this just because I want to kind of talk about it and not for any bad reasons or good reasons. There's some good hard battling in the pack. And this lap or this lap? This lap. So I had a really good battle here with Cole. And the only thing I want to kind of draw attention to is what movement is allowed on the under braking here. So Cole right here is in the middle of the track. I go left. He's now made his mind up, so I go to the right. And I try to keep him down there, but I go to the corner and he opens up. So in this case, it's fine. Just be very careful of this kind of motion, of moving, especially as we get to the braking zone. You can see here your line is changing compared to the outside of the track. So you're coming across the tracks. Just be careful. I'm good with this right now. I'm not going to do anything about it. Just I want other people to see the movement under braking is something that could lead to bigger incidents. So this is the limit here of moving under braking. So let's try to limit your moves, especially as you get to the braking zone. And once you're committed to your line, try to stay on a smooth, straight line, consistent with the sides of the track. Any further than this is and with contact, and this did have a very minor piece of contact to it, which was more on me. I turned in right there. So not going to do anything with this, but let's keep our movement under braking to no more than this for everyone else. So that's just a learning little bit of information there. Okay, so let's go to the feature. Very few incidents in the early race. Now, there was an incident in turn one. Let's just go back to that because there wasn't anything captured on it. There definitely was a bit of wildness going on, so let's just watch this. This is the start for Renner, and you might have heard talk on the radio right after this. But all that talk was good. It was people saying sorry and giving positions back. So here, Renner had a poor start, and then he missed his braking zone into turn one. It happens. Even the best drivers seem to do this in Formula One. So, but he does a great job realizing that he's just driving into an ever decreasing gap, and he does everything he can to avoid the contact. Except he hit a turtle, which made it worse. But he did everything he could have done to try to avoid the contact. Honestly, now that I see this, Scott opened up to not hit him. You can see the sudden. So Phil opens the wheel to avoid him, clips Brandon, starts spinning Brandon, which then Renner is there, which saved Brandon from fully spinning. And then the contact from Philip there was still ongoing, so kind of Renner being there caused the contact, but it actually saved Brandon from spinning out, which is cool. Otherwise, Brandon would have been out of the back of the field, and I don't think anybody wanted to see that. But, if you feel you're in a bad situation, try to do everything you can to avoid the contact, and he does a great job here trying to minimize the impact to everyone. Everyone did a good heads-up job here. Phil kind of opened up the wheel to try to avoid. I even tried to just hold back and let the situation kind of unfold in front of me, not really to take advantage of it, but to not get caught up in it. I just didn't want to get, held on the outside here and crashed into. So I purposely waited as this was going on, so I didn't get involved. But everyone did a great job getting through turn one tonight. Good job. This is usually a really bad corner for contact, and the fact that we got through here without any 4X is really showing this is as close to a 4X as iRacing doesn't give. But great job to see everyone get through there. Greg. Ooh. Now, does Greg wait? No. So let's go back and see what led to all this. All right. So Greg has a big slide. Good cutback. The Audi stays pretty much in line there. Who moved to who there? Right at the end. Okay, so the Audi does move right here, starts moving over. Let's see how consistent Greg was. So Greg also moves to the other side, which this amount of movement in a straight is going to happen. I'm not too worried about it, but they have contact there. The Audi keeps on moving out, and let's try to leave space. You can squeeze to people to the edge of the track and things like that, but it's just going to lead to further contact. So this may anger people, so let's try not to make situations where people can get a little frustrated because it may lead to other things. I'm not saying that's what led to this, but here Greg brakes early, lets the Audi go, then releases the brake force, clips the Audi there as he turns in. And he does turn in early if we look at the tire marks. Oops. If we look at the tire marks where he turns in, it's early. The incident's on Greg. I'm just trying to figure out how, what level of avoidable contact this is. It's obviously a 2.5 at the minimum, but can it be a 5? Let's go listen to the audio and see if you can hear his braking change. I think I know what he's trying to do. And he just mistimed it. So what Greg's trying to do, I'm pretty sure, is he brakes early to try to do a switchback. So he's trying to cut across the back of the other car and then go down the inside for apex. So he doesn't really try to turn into him. He's trying to turn right behind him, but he mistimes it. So there's no malice in this. This is more down to avoidable contact that it didn't result in an undrivable car. So this is a 2.5. Again, if there's something that isn't exactly up to board on here, you're definitely welcome to put in a protest for us to review even further. It's good to see good hard battling. It just sucks when it results in contact. That's noted. Good job there. Okay, so let's review this one. So this is down the long straight, long back straight. Now let's keep an eye on the edge of the track here. Black car is consistent with the edge of the track there, so is the Mustang. Mustang comes over a little bit, and now the Acura starts moving to the left. So here, like I said on the earlier one, like let's try to leave each other a little bit of room so the contact doesn't get worse. And here it starts getting worse. This is like you can have good hard battling where you try to squeeze each other, but both have to be on the same page here. And if one isn't on the same page, it can definitely end to or result in ending somebody's day. So here, if we watch the Audi or the Acura comes over to the left, they get glue contact, and he has contact with the Mustang further. Thank you for waiting as the cars go past. Now, did anybody get a meatball from this? No, so it's not an undrivable car. But this is why we need to respect giving room to each other. The Mustang here didn't really deviate enough to say that he's the issue. The deviations with the Acura. So the avoidable contact is actually for the Acura. So Troy Banks will get this one. Driver of the 888. Avoidable contact. Okay. Let's just see what happens with the rest of David here. Looks like he came out of this okay. Noted for him. Nathan bounced over the hurdle. Good decision on the rejoin there. Good job. Overheated rear tires again. Track temp was also scorching hot, so it doesn't take much to annoy the tires past the point. Great job knowing where the other competitors are for the rejoin. All right, so that's the feature. So considering it's COTA and considering how much contact can happen at COTA, we have 2 incidents. That's it. That generated any incident points. That's awesome. Good job to everyone. Even the ones with incident points, like most of those were just minor little bits of contact there that just got worse with iRacing glue and things like that. So awesome job. The sportsmanship in this league is great to see. Good hard racing, but also good fair racing for the most part. So that's it for me tonight. Thank you for joining me, and hope to see everyone next week.